What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and the mainstream comic book industry is a laughingstock. It has been absolutely destroyed, in large part because it's been overrun by people like Vita Ayala. And when I say people like Vita Ayala, I'm not referring to skin color, I'm not referring to sexuality, I'm not referring to gender or how they identify. What I'm talking about when I say people like Vita Ayala are people that only care about diversity and representation. They only care about pushing their identity politics. They don't care about writing a good story. They don't care about what the customers want. They don't care about the legacy and the history of all of these characters. They only care about their identity politics and pushing a narrative. And if you don't look like her or think like her, she doesn't want to work with you. She said it flat out herself. Take a look at the headline. DC Comics writer Vita Ayala exposes her bigotry, says no, quote, cis dudes should apply for associate editor position at Marvel. Now, if you're not super familiar with the name Vita Ayala, I don't really blame you. This person's not really relevant because they have no talent. The only reason people know about this person is because of virtue signaling and because of embarrassing fails. But unfortunately, people like Vita Ayala have overrun this industry. There are so many Vita Ayalas in the space. That's why mainstream comics these days are absolute trash. If you remember, before we even get into her statements about who she thinks should apply, spoiler alert, it's only people that look and think like her. But remember most recently what we heard. Vita Ayala is the writer behind Nubia and the Amazons, right? Nubia and the Amazons writer canonizes existence of trans Amazons on Themyscira. You remember right here, you had this fat trans Amazon whose hairstyle happens to look a lot like Vita Ayala's has recently. So they decided to put this character in there. I am Bia. We talked about this. We roasted because nobody wants this garbage, but they did put it in there. A more embarrassing failure was this. You guys remember Children of the Atom when this came out and this got absolutely ratioed, 2,000 upvotes to 42,000 downvotes. And of course, where's Vita Ayala? There's Vita Ayala. I'm telling you about that hair, right? But Vita Ayala was a writer behind this. It got canceled after only 6 issues because it was a pathetic failure that no one wanted. But that's all people like Vita Ayala churn out. But anyway, let's get back to the actual story. Comic book writer Vita Ayala, who's currently writing Nubia and the Amazons, Wonder Woman, and Batman Urban Legends, exposes her bigotry when she declared that no cis dude should apply for an associate editor position at Marvel. Ayala's comments came in response to former Marvel writer Angelique Roche sharing a link to an associate editor position for Marvel. And they're looking for an editor. They're seeking a pop culture expert to join Marvel Digital Media in the role of associate editor, responsible for creation and curation of content on Marvel.com. They need a deep knowledge of Marvel characters across comic books, video games, and more. Well, Vita Ayala promotes this and says, Black and brown people, especially femme people, please apply. Prayer hands. And this in and of itself is kind of strange. You know, if I wanted to find the best person for the job, I would say, hey, best people for the job, please apply. It doesn't really matter if they're black. It doesn't matter what their gender is. But for these SJWs who are in comics, who have infiltrated comic books and taken them over, that is all they care about. And if you don't believe me, she continues to speak about this. Now, I would have loved to go to Vita Ayala's Twitter and show you these, but of course, I'm blocked. I am blocked from Vita Ayala's Twitter. Now, I can pull up the incognito tab and we can see some of these things here. I really don't want to scroll because this thread is legitimate cancer. Legitimate cancer on Vita Ayala's thread. So luckily for us, Bounding into Comics has done the work, and we're going to take a look at some of these relevant ones. The fact that people are angry that I tweeted that black and brown people should apply and call it racism is funny and sad at the same time. I hope they figure themselves out soon because they are only telling on themselves with that nonsense. But then she continues to expose why people were talking about this, why they thought it was strange that you would tweet something like that. And in fact, she proves them all right. Look here. Black and brown people, queer people, people that are not cis dudes, and any combo of the above. If you're even a little curious about being an associate editor for Marvel, click through. Apply. You are needed. So now, black and brown people, queer people, people that are not cis dudes. So this is what you want. When you continue to do this, you expose what you really want. You do not want cis men there. You don't want white people there. That's the bottom line. The only people that people like Vita Ayala want to surround themselves with are people that look and think exactly like them. And that's why we see the result for the comic books when they change every hero into someone who looks exactly like them, who wants to fuck exactly the same people they want to fuck. That is how these people think. Bigots loathe the idea of black and brown people, queer people, non-cis dude people, and any intersection of the above to apply for this job. They extra despise that I, an Afro-Puerto Rican trans non-binary person who works in the industry, am encouraging the above to apply. No, what we're talking about is the fact that you're literally encouraging other people not to apply. When you're saying not cis dudes, right? That is a direct indication of who you want here. These people are not talented. They continue to write books that fail over and over again. We see stuff like this that gets put out there that fails. Nobody likes what she is writing. They are not successful, yet they continue to maintain and hang around in the comic book industry by using all the things she said. Afro, Latina, trans, non-binary, whatever the hell she describes herself as. Those are the only reasons people like this continue to get work. And they want to make sure that every other industry, that every other corner of their little market gets filled with people exactly like them so they can maintain that job security. In the process, they're continuing to destroy both Marvel Comics and DC Comics. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.